on. Let's roll. My clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me just let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me just let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me Fuck all that shit, just let me go. Yeah, I'm broadcasting live from the heart of Europe. It's no Jason Badass. All the known land. Presenting the first Saturday Shot to the Point in 3.5 years before it was a trending topics channel. Congratulations, Justin Whang. You went dark on me, buddy. What happened?
What the fuck happened? Like, as soon as you started the stream, I went dark.
Really? I thought you were gonna do, I thought you were gonna do some trick on me. Or like there's some. There we go. What happened? You're good now?
I don't know. My fucking my settings got all funny. I didn't change shit. Just did it on its own.
Yeah, spooky. I mean, you kind of got a dark look. I thought you were going. I thought like you're gonna turn on the lights and be fireworks in the background and everything.
Yeah. I'm glad the song played this time. The last episode I watched, I think it was the Turkey Tom episode.
Oh,
your
no,
music didn't play, and it's just you breathing.
It was the broski one. I forgot to.
Intro.
I fucked it up, and there's no way to figure it out on your end. Thank you very much for being a part of this. I do appreciate it. I've been wanting to get you on for a while. Wavy speaks highly of you. Me and Max Willie Mac are getting really tight, and he speaks really highly of you. And
I feel like Wavy and Willie Mac were the guys that brought me to the fold with you and some of the other commentary dudes.
Yeah, so I've just recently discovered them, and it's kind of spread out that way. And then if I remember correctly, I mean, this is old man memory. I'm thinking I saw you February, March, and I don't think you have as many subs as I do. And now you're what, little over 120K, something like that, or pushing 120K.
Yeah. Pulling up on 130K.
What is that like? I mean, did you expect it? Did you expect to move that quickly?
Not at all. Like, I was kind of like, I guess, like, it's just kind of like, I was at, what was it, like 7,000 maybe, just a few subs a day.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like, I had like the crazy momentum from what really kicked it off at first was the Taylor Swift video, the one with Taylor Swift using 4chan.
Yeah.
Yeah, Anthony Fantano shared that one on Twitter, and then his audience is the perfect audience for that because it's like music fans who are like very engaged with 4chan shit. So that was perfect, and it got at the same week after that video had blown up, Taylor Swift put out a new song. So then all
the stars, it's like everything. It's like everything in this business. The stars just align. Everything happens. You know.
And then like a couple weeks later, Keemstar shouted me out. So that was like. Anthony Fantano he shot the ball and Keemstar fucking dunked it.
Yeah,
and then my channel exploded.
Well, I don't think it's just a shout out. So you have you're a commentator. I consider you part of the commentary community, but you're not really doing trending topics that much. Your stuff's pretty much internet history, research internet history. Like the one that really got me was the Max Headroom video, which I remember. That happening and seeing quick news report on it. And I'm from your area. I grew up on the side of, I grew up like right next to Staten Island in Woodbridge, New Jersey. Yeah. And so I'm about, I guess you're in New York, and I grew up about probably an hour from your house, doorstep. And I remember, I think it was in '87. I was like 11 years old. About the Max Headroom thing, where some guy broke into he jumped into a live broadcast, a news broadcast of Chicago, and a couple different stations, if I'm not mistaken. And they never found out who he was. He was dressed like Max Headroom, which was the spokesman of Coke at the time. He was like a virtual reality computer character. They had a TV show. The TV show was awful, by the way.
I had no idea about the TV show growing up. I had heard about the hacking.
Yeah, the hacking
I didn't even understand why they called him Max Headroom, like where they got the name from. Then I'm like, oh, wait, that's actually like a show.
He was, if I remember correctly, the Coke commercial came first, then the show. If he was like, they put a show around him, but if I also remember, the show almost had nothing to do with him, but rather the actor that he was molded from. And it was a really bad science fiction show, and it was on for like 2 seasons too long. It was really, it's completely unmemorable. But Max Headroom in the '80s was sort of like Spuds McKenzie, or he was just a iconic commercial figure. It was just really weird. And then just to let the audience know, they had these guys. They broke into a news broadcast in the middle of Chicago, and I guess they pulled a dildo out. They started spanking each other and saying crazy shit, like holding up Pepsi and so you can catch the wave, which was at the time was the old Coke, which was the old Coke saying, the old Coke motto. And they did it for one or two.
He was the new Coke, I think, right?
What's that? Well, yeah, I guess Bill Cosby was new Coke. A lot of people don't remember that. Everybody was pushing new Coke. That's a whole nother story. They dropped the old. They dropped the old. I have a theory about that. They never changed it back. I really believe that. They called it new Coke and admitted it tastes different. And I saw people stacking up the original Coke. People went nuts for a summer, and they released what you see it now, classic Coke. All right. I have a theory. They never changed it back completely.
That wouldn't fucking surprise me. Because people are so susceptible to like the placebo effect.
Yeah, it never tastes the same. It tasted different than new Coke, but it never tastes the same. They changed something, and that was apparent. Everybody knew it. I think it was summer '86, something like that. And there was just I remember there's a commercial. We got our Coke back, and these people going nuts.
People are protesting over it. I just saw pictures.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
That sign, our children will never know refreshment.
That summer, I was 10 or 11. That summer, it was a big deal. It was in the news like pretty regularly. Are they going to put it back? The arguments. Lawsuits filed to Coca-Cola. You know? Yeah, so Max Headroom was probably
marketing.
The first guy I knew that advertised it was Bill Cosby, though. Bill Cosby actually advertised New Coke. Well, anyway, these guys break in. The mystery comes and goes 30 years later. Nobody knows who the hell they are. And you're commentating on videos that are based on, like, I would say internet mysteries or tech mysteries. You do a lot of stuff on video games. You're not exactly just starting shit and calling people out and saying everybody's content sucks. Why? Yeah. Why are you doing things different?
There's a few reasons for it. First off, like I had that series on my channel for a while just because I liked to talk about that kind of stuff. Yeah. And for a while, people weren't really interested in that at all, but I would make a video on like a trending topic or a controversial news story or some YouTube drama, and that would get way more views. And I kind of I moved away from that for a little bit because I kind of felt like there would be like these cliques of YouTubers I would watch, and a big controversial thing would happen, and you would know who was going to say something about it, and you knew what they were going to say before they said it. And I caught myself watching it and doing it. And I'm like, why am I? This is such a weird behavior to have. If you take a step back and think about, why am I watching a person say my own opinion back to me, knowing what they're gonna have to say about it?
Yeah, because once you get,
it's kind of.
I'm sure I'm the same way. I mean, people know I'm, and especially if you're watching somebody who has any principle. I mean, you know what they're gonna say because you pretty much picked up on how they look at the world, what their worldview, their principles, so to speak.
I mostly watch the interviews.
My interviews?
Everybody
hates my interviews.
Yeah,
everybody hates. That was really. Everybody hates my. They say I'm a really bad interviewer, and I think I've improved. But
I like that one. I like the Ian Miles Chong one. I like the Turkey Tom one.
Those are the recent ones. You should see the old ones.
You did improve.
You should see the Sear one. That was a crash course, man. That was really bad. I love Sear to death, but holy shit. Was that bad? The I Hate Everything one wasn't too bad. I actually re-uploaded on the pod on iTunes, so because it's over a year old. But yeah, I'm working on it. I'm trying to make it more conversational, like the way I talk to somebody, rather than getting to them. I'm not fucking Barbara Walters, you know what I mean? So the interviews go where it goes. So were you saying though, what pushed you to sort of you have a unique Justin Whang way of doing things on your channel?
Yeah. What I think there were two main reasons I moved away from that kind of trending topic content. One of them was that it was just I found it stressful. Like a thing happened and I would be like, oh my God, I got to get my video out right away. And it's just at the time, it's not even like I'm making money off of it or really growing at any kind of good rate. So it's why am I putting the stress on myself? It's for nothing.
It's not fun either. Yes, it's no fun at all.
At the same time, I kind of I dug into my analytics, and I'm kind of all right. Well, I want my channel to grow, what's going on here. I'm looking like, even though like my Tales from the Internet videos at the time, they weren't getting a lot of views, they were converting way more subscribers per the views. Like people were, even though like people were watching the trending topic videos, people were sticking around for the Tales from the Internet ones.
Gotcha.
And then that eventually would come to be the bread and butter of the channel.
But you're still not afraid to do something that's not Tales from the Internet. You're still
no.
You're still willing to do
like there's like, I think the last video I made was about the last one that wasn't a part of those series, I think, was the Count Dankula thing. What I've been thinking recently, actually, because like now Instagram put out the IGTV thing, and also then I do have like, I've been trying to build up my Facebook presence. I feel like the opinion pieces are better left for those platforms, than YouTube can be solely the stories.
You gotcha.
Because there's different things that people that play better on different platforms.
Well, I've checked your politics out. I don't want to. I know a lot of people hate being put on the hand, but you strike me as an anti-SJW type, or somewhat. Maybe not as passionate as a Sargon, but you seem to be on that side of the aisle of things. Maybe center left or center right. Is that correct?
Yeah, I feel like that would be an accurate thing to say. I actually I did dabble into politics more like earlier on in the channel, and the more I think about it, the more I'm like, I kind of had to question whether or not I'm really politically engaged, or if there's just certain pet peeves that I have. And I realized like the main thing for me is this, I just don't like the fun police. I didn't like it when it was conservative Christians growing up. I don't like it that it's the far left now. I feel like we're seeing a resurgence of the conservative Christians.
Oh yeah, I would agree. We never thought. Thank you so much, Ricochet. That's the way I always came at it, is because I grew up in the. How old are you, by the way? I don't think you're
I'm 33.
You're 33, so you're like you're kind of Gen Y. You know, you're around my age.
Yeah. I'm like I like the older range of what gets called a millennial.
You were a kid in the 80s. Yeah, I would say that'd be the older range. We always called guys like you in the Army Gen Ys, or Y Gen or something like that.
I heard that more growing up too, and then I feel like that
you guys got eaten by the you guys got eaten by the millennials at some point. I don't know how that.
Because like there was even a point when they would call my age range like Gen X, like the younger Gen X.
The younger,
and then that then became Gen Y, then millennials.
That's weird. That's strange. Yeah. Well, I wasn't originally in Gen X, and then they extended it. It used to be it was like 1968 to 75, and then like they put it all the way to 80. So it's all bullshit anyway. You know?
Yeah. it's marketing.
I think you're right. It is marketing. So you are an actor. From what I see, I'm going to spoil Tobes' joke. Yeah, you were an extra in a TV show called Gotham a few times, and I'm not going to. I'll answer his question later. With some of the political stances that you take, and the fact that you're living in New York, I imagine you're getting jobs in New York. Do you worry about people seeing maybe you sticking up for Dankula? And
I don't care.
It's one of those things. Maybe. Could it affect you though? You don't care, but you may not. I'm sure you don't care. I'm sure you're principled, but could you worry about it affecting your acting career?
I feel like in terms of the acting thing, like it was never my dream to be an actor or anything. At the capacity that I work as an actor, it's strictly like a job to me. Like it's
okay.
It's something that fits nicely into my lifestyle and pays pretty well. Not like, at least now that I'm in the union.
Yeah.
Basically at some points, I used to work at a music studio in Queens. I went away on tour and I came back and they went out of business because the rent just got too high. And around that time, I had seen a posting like Gotham was getting started and looking for extras for the pilot. I signed up for that and they took me, and then I kind of found out that in New York, at least, it's very possible to just regularly work as an extra. And it's like, it's by the gig. So you work a day or two for the shoot and then it's on to looking for your next job.
I gotcha.
And so it keeps me like from having to have, like, say I were to go away on tour for a month, I don't have to tell anybody about it. I can just do it.
I gotcha.
And come back and have a job still.
Yeah, but I was worried more that, you're that Justin Whang. You're Trump. I'm not saying you are a Trump supporter, but maybe you get tied up in that. Does that affect you politically?
I feel like, and it's tough to say, like, being like at this lower end of the acting spectrum,
Probably doesn't affect
it's nobody really cares about anything that I do. But if I were to get an audition for a bigger part, it might come into play.
Gotcha.
At the same time, though, like I feel like that's the value of being on YouTube and kind of building myself out across other platforms. Like I can't fire myself.
Yeah, no, it's great. Let me tell you.
Yeah. It's like I see people coming at Lloyd Kaufman. And my friend, the horror guru, yesterday made a really good point with that James Gunn situation, where people are trying to come after Lloyd Kaufman, who, if anyone doesn't know, he's the guy who runs Trauma. He made
I know. I think I've seen him around when I was growing up over there. I swear to God, I saw him in Jersey City.
Yeah, of course. Like people are trying to call him like a Hollywood elite and stuff.
No, by far. No, he's not. He's not. He's a Hollywood misfit, if it's anything.
They definitely have no respect for Lloyd Kaufman in Hollywood.
No, none. He does, but he never cared. He's like the first YouTuber, if you really think about it. Yeah. He made his own movies, did all through the 80s. They made a certain amount of money, and they attracted a certain audience. And he was like, to me, Lloyd Kaufman is fuck Hollywood.
He's the epitome of like a self-made artist who doesn't have to answer shit to fucking anybody.
Buddy of
mine completely immunized himself against the outrage forces.
I have a friend that worked on Boardwalk Empire. Maybe you ran it. His name's Mike Nierenberg. He lives in New York, and he's like an artist. Like he's a set designer or something like that. And he made a movie.
I might have.
Yeah, he made.
That shoots at the same studio as Gotham.
I know. I think I've seen him with pictures with Lloyd. And I know he grew up kind of digging him, and he worked on Boardwalk Empire. I want to say The Sopranos, and he also did a movie about Hustler magazine.
Okay.
Yeah, Mike's closer to my age. He's about 39, 40. He grew up. If you ever run into him, just give me a check. He's a great guy. Because you sound like you might be in the circles that he might be working in. He always
possibly like the crew tends to like there's some crossover, like I know a lot of PAs and whatnot, but the crew like kind of generally like stays in their own world, and the extras kind of stay in their own world.
Oh, okay. So everybody's it's like a clique.
Kind of like there's never really like a lot of times too, like when I would come across like someone who would be a set designer or something, they're in work mode. They are rushing to get something done.
Gotcha.
So you don't really chill out with them.
All right. What did you do for Gotham? And what is Gotham? Because I am completely unplugged over here in Germany, and I don't like regular TV personally. Is that a Batman-esque show or something like that?
Yeah, it's Gotham. I mean, it's basically like the story of Batman before he was Batman.
Okay.
And now they're kind of getting to the end of the series, and everyone's becoming who they're going to become.
Oh, so it's Smallville for Batman.
Yeah, basically, 100%. That's the best way to put it.
I never saw it. I wonder if it's good. I never checked it out, to be honest with you. Well, it's good that you're on it. What did you play, by any chance? You look like one of maybe Joker's henchmen, I'm thinking.
That's literally what I did the last 2 seasons.
Oh, kidding me? I got it right.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I didn't know that. I swear to God. I used to. I see you're Joker's henchman, you know.
Yeah, well, that's how casting goes, I guess. You just got the look, and like they're like, all right, that's our guy for this thing. I actually did do a couple other things of that, though. One episode I worked as a generic assassin. I don't think you would ever see me in that episode.
Oh.
I'm actually in the very first shot of the entire series.
Really?
You see the back of my head? I'm working as a Chinese dumpling salesman.
Yeah.
And literally Catwoman drops down on my cart, and I stick my head out, and you see the back of my head.
Oh, really? So they use you. Is that common? They use you for more than one part?
Yeah, very common. Actually.
I didn't know that. That's pretty wild. Do you ever get to kill anybody as the Joker's henchman? Have you killed anybody yet?
I got to give him the stapler to staple his face back together.
That's awesome.
And that was sick.
And that's do you find that I mean you're a pop culture dork like the rest of us. You know, you're really into video games. You know these comic books. You know the backgrounds. Hell, you have a whole YouTube channel based on these sort of oddball pop culture things. Do you find that a lot of people that are enacting are like you, that they know what they're doing, they know a lot about Batman going into this, or they just trying to get famous? What is that vibe like?
It varies a lot. It's weird that the thing about being an extra, it's not a pathway to becoming a legitimate actor unless you get like win the lotto and like they give you a line or something.
Oh, no kidding.
And even then, that's just like
even then,
whatever. But
that movie's got to take off if that's the case. Even if you get a good line, you know.
But it's like a lot of people are under the delusion that like this is like them working their way up from the bottom. But
that's what I would thought.
It's a different circuit.
No,
it's a total different pathway.
No kidding. Isn't that some shit? All right, let's talk about some of your other videos. And then I'll get in some 80s stuff, which you seem to be a little obsessed with, if I could have say. Your Glass Joe video, all right? You did a video on who Glass Joe, for all you 80s kids that play, or guys that play Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, is a 99 and a 1. So who did he knock out? So Justin breaks down who knocked it out. I'm not going to spoil the video. Go check it out yourself. I'm angry with you.
What's that?
Why didn't you only include Mike Tyson's Punch-Out and Super Punch-Out for the Super Nintendo? Why did you not include the arcade lore? I'm very upset with you.
You know what it was?
A lot of those characters come from the arcade. You know, like, I forget the one Asian dude. He does a kick, a finishing move, a kick.
Dragon Chan?
Yeah, Dragon Chan, yeah. He came from Super Punch-Out, which came out before Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. And I was like, how did you not take that into account? I was very upset as a dork. You know
what there was? Like, I was looking at those because there's 2 Punch-Out games, and actually there's also an arm wrestling game that's like a part of that.
Yeah. There's some of the characters in that. Yeah, I remember that. I remember seeing that in the arcade. But go ahead.
There's no records in those games, so I couldn't like work that into there. Like Glass Joe was in there, but none of them had win losses.
Well, Glass Joe is the first guy in the first Punch-Out, not Mike arcade Punch-Out. But the character in arcade is supposed to be you. It's not supposed to be, like, whereas Little Mac is the main character in Mike Tyson. I don't think there's a character in Super Nintendo Punch-Out. There's not a character.
Yeah, he's like, it's kind of going back to this character is a Little Mac. He's although it got complicated. I got into the video. Like it was clearly like originally supposed to be Little Mac, and then they changed it, and then I think it's like the virtual console versions. They call him Little Mac again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's a little bit.
In your opinion, without spoiling the video, who knocked out? Who did Glass Joe get his punch from?
I'm going to say Nick Bruiser.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. I'm not going to say anything else because I want you guys to go check out the video. Nick Bruiser, of course, being the final boss for the Super Nintendo Super Punch-Out. All right, that's really good. Oh, it is. You forgot the Wii too. I just thought of that now.
I did. I think there was one point in it that I referenced it to, but like, there's a weird thing that happens with the Wii games where basically, if you take the Wii records into account, it's like Super Punch-Out never happened. Like everything kind of like resets back to their Punch-Out records.
No kidding.
But then some people have an extra loss after Punch-Out, and some of them don't. It's weird.
That's pretty wild. Oh yeah, they just changed it up. And then you also pointed out Bold Bull lost 16 fights between the story in Mike Tyson's Punch-Out and the Super Nintendo Punch-Out.
Yeah, they gave him a ton of extra losses between those games.
Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe the mentality of it was that he came a lot earlier in Super Punch-Out than he did in regular Punch-Out. So I'm thinking maybe they can justify him being ranked lower by having him have all those extra losses.
I got you. So do you have any other jobs? You full-time YouTube actor?
For what I was doing like full-time, like I've had like, what happened with me is like I was like touring a lot a few years ago, so I kind of tried to build my life around having a bunch of different gigs that I can do on the road or off the road or whatever. So things that were a part of that was the acting became a part of that at a certain point. There was freelance ghostwriting, which used to be really, really profitable until Google changed their algorithm. Probably for the better, but not for the better for my wallet.
I gotcha.
Yeah,
I got you.
And flipping stuff on eBay.
Oh, flipping. So, have you ever had a let's say regular job or the outside entertainment?
Studio?
Really? So you're really in this?
Yeah,
you're in
the studio. I got the job at the music studio when I was 16, and I had that job till I was like. So
like you never had to like shovel snow, rake leaves, do any of the working class jobs?
No.
I mean, you just music studio and right from there. Wow, man.
Yeah, music studio and then just like gigs.
Gigs, right there. And I did skip over this. The 80s. What's with you in the 80s? You play 80s games. You're 30. You grew up on PlayStation.
I hate taking
Nintendo 64. Why 8-bit stuff? You do a lot of stuff on video games of that era.
You know what it is? I think in that era of gaming, and there are some PlayStation things that I did get into, like the Resident Evil stuff and whatnot. But like the more modern we get with gaming, the more professionally done things are, and the more like every loose end is tied up.
Yeah.
So there's just not as many mysteries. Where back in those days,
you're right.
There were a lot of errors that you couldn't patch anything. So if something was wrong with a game, it's just that's how it is forever. They didn't keep track of who did what. Translations messed things up. So there's just more room for mysteries to arise from.
Do you know the first Easter egg? Are you familiar with console had the first Easter egg? I'm
Which
testing.
one?
No, what console had the first, generally considered to be the first Easter egg? What major console?
I would think Atari, but I don't know.
You're on there. Sword Quest. Sword Quest is a weird game. It was actually it was like it came in like 3 different games, and what you're doing is you're playing to win a real sword. And what you do is whoever found it first. Yeah, I'm not even kidding you. Tipster does a great video on the whole thing. And
I like Tipster.
And so does Angry Video Game Nerd. And the idea was to you get these 3 games, and then you get a chalice, a sword, and I forget something else. And whoever found the shit first, and then sent it in, and then they would have like a Sword Quest final at some place. And the problem is it started in '82 and crashed in '84. Just ended the contest. You know, they had to bag it, and then there's some guy out there. You might want to do a video on it. There's some guy out there that actually has the chalice and the sword still, and I think only one guy was awarded. Yeah, and there was supposed to be a 4th game too. It was pretty popular back in the day, but I think they had the first Easter egg, or oh no, it might have. Fuck, now I'm thinking it was Indiana Jones, Last Crusade, not the Last Crusade. What was the first movie called? It didn't even have Indiana Jones in the title.
Are you thinking about Pitfall?
No, it wasn't Pitfall. Oh, now I'm thinking I fucked it up. It wasn't Sword Quest. It was maybe it was. They mentioned it was a game. You know why I know this? Because you see Ready Player One? No. You should see that. And they mentioned, I think what? No, I can't remember. It's either an Indiana Jones game or not. Now I think I'm fucked it up. Let's look at the chat. They always know. Now
there was an NES game like that too that had a contest called Treasure Master. I was thinking about making a video about that. Actually, I have a Let's Play of Treasure Master deep in the archives. That game sucks so bad.
It's a lot of
yeah. But you could win. I think it was like $10,000 if you happened to beat this impossibly hard game.
Mm-hmm.
Use the code that was attached to your game, and your code happened to be the winning code. So nobody won that shit.
No kidding. All right. What do you play now, though? Are you searching the old games for videos, or do you play modern stuff, or just only old stuff?
I play modern stuff. Honestly, like this is kind of like a problem that I've been having that I have to like address somehow. Like whenever I'm at home now, I feel like I should be doing something productive because I worked from home basically.
I know the feeling.
So I never, know, you're in this game, so you know that like. If you're sitting down just relaxing playing a game,
you feel like you're fucking off and losing
making money now.
You're losing money. I know the exact feeling. Yeah.
I really want to play Yakuza 6. I love that series.
Yeah, I never played that.
It's really good.
Yeah, is it single player? Or is
it is.
Yeah,
that's what you say. You're not too into it.
No, not into it. No, I can't get into it unless I'm shooting and blowing up shit. You know, like Duke Nukem, or I can swallow that. As a big fan of Shadow Warrior. I'm trying to play the new one. But
I've been playing a little Fortnite on and off. Like I had
I play a little Fortnite here and there, but God, I suck at it.
I'm terrible.
Me too.
Terrible at it. Yeah.
I love.
Waiting for them to. They put out that training mode now, which is what I was waiting for, because like then you could actually get good at building without having to fucking die and try again every 2 seconds.
Yeah, I gotta do that. I got my first legitimate building war yesterday, like because that's what you really got to do. It's all the defense is important. And I survived a little longer. It kind of worked, but I ended up losing, I think it's just it's a battle for the high ground in that game, and that's the way it works.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I just don't know how to get there or defend myself correctly. My instincts is just have good aim, and aim's not everything in that game, not at all. It's not that. It's really not even all that important.
No.
So all right, we got that. What kind of? We might have covered this already. What kind of content did you make when you started it off? When you started kicking it off? I mean,
Let's Plays.
Just Let's Plays.
The very first video on my channel is a Let's Play of the Addams Family for NES.
Yeah, and it's only got about 200
game.
views. You have it's funny, you got 100,000 views, and I was checking. One of your videos didn't crack 100. It had 72 views.
I'm sure there's like plenty of those floating around.
I only not too many under 100 though. You had a few there, and that must. I mean, I'd look at that and I would just laugh if I was you. Like, ha, there's no way I walk away with less than 50 now. I
have like privated some videos that I thought like I get worried now about like getting the whole fucking channel deleted off of like something like in an old video or whatever the hell. But for the most part, I like the idea of leaving that shit up.
Yeah.
Because when I was coming up, I would like to look at bigger YouTubers and see like how far they came.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to keep up as much old shit as I possibly can.
This is this guy takes a lot of shit, Gamer from Mars, about his videos. I do too. One of the reasons I like Gamer from Mars, certainly you can criticize his content and he does things wrong and gets things wrong, but he archives the internet. I mean, his videos on 4chan were pretty good, as far as for no other reason he's the internet's librarian, and I really he really is he's YouTube's librarian. And one thing he said to me, he said, I am just as excited about the story of a YouTuber like making it as I was when I was a child, and like that's like his whole thing. And I tell you something, that's what really gets me. I want to know where he came from. Because my story is unique. Everybody has a different unique story of how they got on the recommenders or something, or there was an incident or something like that, or they were on TV like Jamie Pine. He was on a television show, and it's just I could talk about those stories all day and night. Before all that, so you're from New York, New York City. You go by the name Whang. Are you 100% of the Asian persuasion?
No, I am Korean and German.
Oh, really? From this part of the woods over here. You're Korean. Are you?
You're literally in Germany now.
I'm literally sitting in Germany right now in Wiesbaden, Germany. Do you have a German mom, or she descend from Germany?
My mother is my mother is like an American, but like she's her side of the family is German, and my father is Korean.
Your father's Korean. How was that growing up with? Was that tough?
I grew up with like just my mother. My father left like when I was very young.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, and it is what it is.
Was that difficult? You get any shit? I mean, I guess in New York, that's really not going to happen. You probably weren't the only half Asian kid walking around,
Yeah, it's weird too, because like when I have I had short hair throughout most of like up to like the end of high school, I guess. And when I have short hair, I look a lot whiter for whatever fucking reason. Like, the first girl I ever dated, she was Korean, and she didn't believe when I said I was half Korean. Like she thought I was fucking with her.
Oh yeah.
Like she thought I was fully white.
See, yeah, that's another thing. I hear this from half black kids, half white kids, and like they get different shit from whatever ethnicity. Like they get a different they get a different kind of shit from black kids, and they get a different kind of shit from white kids. You know, it's
because people in general, they define you by what makes you different. So that's just like how it goes.
But your image, you're going you're letting people know you're Asian. You got the you're marketing it now. I mean, Wang is not your last name; it's a Chinese name, right?
It is.
What?
It is. My last name is actually a typo. Like when my father's family came over, his last name is Whang.
You're an Irishman. You're an Irishman that dropped the Mick or the O.
Basically, that's what happened. Like the W and the H got flipped and created a name that didn't exist until America. But there's a few people who had that happen to them though. Like there's like 3 other Justin Wangs that I found on Google. Like one of them's like a little kid who plays piano. There's a swimmer, and there's an animator who worked on King of the Hill. That are all not me.
Oh, that's so fun. They're Justins.
Yeah.
They're Justin Wangs. That's so bizarre.
Same exact name.
All my people with my name are all Irish hurlers. they play.
Yeah, like that. Your name is very Irish.
Yeah, but if you put my name in, you'll see a bunch of guys that are bloody with sticks in their hands from hurling, which is a crazy fucking Irish sport.
Is that like when you got like the big log and shit and you're fucking?
No, it's sort of like field hockey, but you can hit people with your sticks and shit.
Oh, that's fucking awesome.
It's pretty awesome. I really
I would watch a lot more sports if they were all violent.
Well, you watch hockey. You're not too far from
yeah.
Well, you're in Queens. Actually, you could jump over and watch the Islanders in Brooklyn if you really wanted to. You could watch that, although they're terrible.
I had like my hockey experience was like I was a Rangers fan for like 2 months when they won the championship when I was a kid, and then I
you were one of those guys. I went to the parade.
Yeah.
I went to the parade, dude. It was.
Yeah.
I remember I said to my dad because it was in June. I said to my dad, I'm going to the Cup parade. He goes, no, you're not at school. I was like, well, nobody's going. Everybody's going on New Jersey Transit going. He said, yeah, you're going. And I just instead of arguing with him, I just got real quiet. Right? And I was like, there was just no fucking way I wasn't skipping school. And I was like, I'll take the beating, you know? And then my dad calls in a time period that if I answer the phone, he might not know I left for the bus, but he might just think I'm running a little late. So I'm looking at the phone's ringing, like, should I answer it? Should I not answer it? Because I'm thinking maybe he changed his mind. If I don't answer it, if I do answer it, he's going to know I fucked off, right? And if I don't answer it, he might not figure it out. So I did. I answered it, and he said, yeah, I was talking to a woman at work, instead of being an asshole, go to it. I was like, the car's outside right now. Like,
sick.
Yeah. I was like, not only that, I was getting off too, you know? I guess somebody gave a big lecture at work. So I guess your son's going to the parade. And like, oh, he's going to school. Like, oh, you're a terrible father. And then you called me up and you let me go. But
it's crazy to think like how much importance gets put on those kinds of things, like missing a single day of school to do something. Meanwhile, like probably like what?
It's once in a lifetime opportunity. They hadn't won in 54 years prior to that. My grandfather barely remembered. It was 1940, so he would only been like 11 or 12. How big was hockey in 1940 in New York? Yeah. Probably not that big at all. And you know, I realized like the Rangers are always unlucky. So I mean, this might be it. And let's see, 24 years later, no cup. You know, so I'm glad I went. Yeah. And think about it. I'm 41 now. If he'd have kicked the shit out of me or got in trouble or give me a punishment, I still went. That's the way I saw it. You know?
You get over it.
Yeah. Those are good times. And you actually remember it. I talked to so many people that were born in 94, and it makes me sick.
I remember I had one friend that was super into the lore of it, like telling me about curses and some shit about coins. I'm like, all I know is like they won and we changed.
Not lore, man. It's real,
and that's it.
It's fucking real, dude. It's not lore.
Yeah.
It means everything. Oh man, so I think we got into just about everything. Where are you going from here? Are you gonna be a big YouTuber? Are you on your way to 1 million?
I don't know. Like, obviously, I would like to hit 1 million.
Sure.
Something I think about is like, it's this. There's definitely like a ceiling to the kind of stuff that I do. Like, it's just not everyone's gonna be fucking interested in it.
What about I Hate Everything? I mean, he's got over 1 million, and he does just about everything he wants. So I don't know if this is a ceiling, or maybe it's a lot higher than I think it is.
I mean, the ceiling probably is. It probably is a very high ceiling because there's so many different things. Like I don't think I'll ever like get to like the.
You're not getting to 10.
So like that, but like
you're not getting to 10. You could get to 2, maybe 3.
Yeah.
You know, but you're in that aspect. But you know, you get 2, 3, you're rich. You're good. You know.
Yeah. I mean, I've been doing too. I've been wanting to do more like just like vlogs, like of doing stuff.
Yeah.
And that doesn't really fit into my channel, so I've been doing a lot of that on my band's channel, especially since pretty much the only time I really fucking leave the house is with the band anyway.
All right,
so it makes sense to do it over there.
We didn't go over your music background. Like I'm looking at you. I'm thinking you're in a death metal band. Nothing personal. Are you in a death metal?
That's how I started. My first band was called Severed. It was a death metal band, and I was in that band for like 10-something years.
Really?
Or so.
Did you tour? You got paid and everything?
Yeah, I mean, not with that band. That band, like, we did very well locally, but we just didn't really tour outside of like doing like a weekend here and there.
Yeah.
But after that, I joined the band called The World We Knew, and that band toured a lot. That was like the band where I was like away like 6 months out of the year.
That must have been great, huh?
dude, it's like that shit was like life changing. Like
I bet.
Once you travel a lot, like especially traveling with a purpose, not just like, oh, I'm going on vacation. It really, it completely changes like your expectations for how you're gonna live your life.
Yeah. Did you? I mean, does it scare you though? Sometimes. I mean, like, if things go wrong for me, I got my wife. I go out, become a garbage man. No big deal. You might not be in that position if it dries up. Does it freak you out, or you just don't think about it?
In what way do you mean?
Like I mean, do you really want to be 35, 40 years old and have to get a regular job after not?
I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's the thing too. Like, I feel like the direction we're going as a society, I feel like what I'm doing now, where like it's not even just YouTube. I try to like build out across other platforms. I have a mailing list I keep where like I try to, have like other avenues open to reach people.
Yeah.
In building my own platform like this, I feel like I future-proofed myself better than people who are in a job that is likely to get automated in the next few years.
And I really just said that to challenge you. You may have enough experience, whether it be on here or on YouTube, where you're a value or an asset to a company, because you already have that experience. So you very well may. I just wanted to. I wondered that because I was in band. What the fuck was that band's name from Jersey? We used to practice right next to them. A Lamb of God.
Lamb of God.
Yeah, they're from New Brunswick, or at least they practiced in New Brunswick when we were there, and they were like literally across the fall, and things were happening for them. I mean, Dillinger's Escape Plan was around that time.
Dillinger, I love Dillinger.
Yeah,
I went to their last show over at Gramercy. Gramercy, Terminal 5.
Yeah. Oh, see. Yeah. Well, they were just getting started. Like, when I was trying to take it seriously in 99, 2000, and they went on to pretty big things. But I think
Lamb of God, like I got to see them at a tiny venue, and then they play like arenas.
A big deal. Yeah. But the thing that always scared me about going that route, and I had a regular job at the time, like there always seemed to be a time, and maybe you didn't have to do it because things worked out. Maybe you're better than me. Maybe you knew the right people. I work in the music store. I knew there was a time when I was going to say, I have to quit my job and I have to risk absolutely everything. And that was really frightening. And I got in a fight with my bandmates. I overreacted to something that happened. I still wanted to play and I still wanted to practice 2 times a week, but I overreacted so I could quit. So I made an asshole of myself, and I was dating this girl. We wanted to get married. And I think now that I look back, it was fear of going for it and not making it, and then having nothing to take to a employer after 5 years of not making it. And it's just always terrified me. And then I also realized that terror is what made nothing happen. And then when I was unemployed and I was doing shit on YouTube and not giving a fuck, lo and behold, I get a huge break. So it's just it's something that interests me. I'm not really challenging in the sense. I just wonder if you think about it.
No, it's definitely something I think about.
Yeah, but I mean nowadays, you might be right. Maybe we're safer than the normies, so to speak. Considering we have. I
think so.
I do wonder about that. And because my fear back then was being a 40-year-old that hadn't accomplished everything because he put everything into some kind of entertainment thing, and. I ended up, the girl left and I ended up joining the army, but it was just always really terrifying. And it is kind of brave to go in entertainment. It's a huge risk, and only like 1% of the people make it. But I think if you're willing to do something like that, save your money and work behind the scenes, you still can stay there and you can still make a decent living. I mean, real talk. He doesn't. I mean, he's not filling arenas, but he's making a good living, and the experience he's getting around promoters and record people and what have you. I mean, when he enters my age, 10 years from now, he may be doing something completely different, And I think I don't know if going for it, sort of like what you're saying, is as dangerous as it was maybe than I would.
It's definitely not as dangerous as it was like 10, 15 years ago.
Probably because
like I said, like the way I've like built things up in my life, like I can make money while I'm not at home.
Yeah,
that really wasn't as much of an option back then.
Yeah, and it does. It's just a freaky thing. You want to take some calls?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. I don't usually take calls with guests, but yeah, I got 2 people in there. We'll put in circuitry. Circuitry, you're on with Justin Whang. You got a question?
Hey, how you doing?
What's up?
What's going on, dude?
1 second. Hold on.
What do you mean? Come on.
I'm sorry, your stream is going. I couldn't hear you.
Well, here's what. All right, go ahead.
Okay. Justin, hello?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, I was listening to I went to your channel. I did sub to it, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I also actually saw a little link that said my band. So I clicked on it. I found Jinx.
Yeah.
I've been listening to your music for like the past half hour.
Thanks, dude.
I have to ask you, was your influences from like Korn? I hear influences from Korn and 9 Inch Nails and Tool. Can you tell me a bit about your music, bro?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of it's very self-consciously trying to kind of like have like a little bit of that like new metal nostalgia in it while still having that modern metalcore like heavier feel to it. Mm-hmm. So it's like those influences you're hearing are definitely very deliberate.
Yeah, no. When I was, can I actually confess something to you, Justin? When I was 16, my brother took me to my very first concert, and it was Korn with Puddle of Mud and Taproot.
Okay, wait until you hear what my fucking first concert was. It's like way more embarrassing than yours.
What's that?
Oh, go ahead, dude. I'd love to hear it.
It was Kitty.
They're really good. I saw Kitty.
They were.
It's amazing.
They were.
Amazing.
It's definitely like, if you're
Kitty.
embarrassed of Korn, like Kitty is definitely like.
No.
I would be. I thought they were. I'm surprised they didn't go on to bigger things. Kitty, they were.
I mean, they're still around. They're still they're still doing pretty good for themselves.
Well, they got to be older than me then. They got to be in their mid-40s.
Actually, funny story about Kitty. Like when they came out, I was obsessed with their bass player.
Oh yeah.
I thought she was so fucking hot, and she had this Yahoo group. So I would she was like just like super active in this Yahoo fan group, and we used to like fucking like talk shit in there. And then I met her in person. I was like 16, and I was like, "Hey, I'm in your Yahoo group," and she got mad excited.
Really?
It wasn't much of a story, but it was just like that was.
Yeah, that was a big deal.
Me being a big fan of that band.
Oh man. Okay. Did I spell your fucking name wrong? Shit, I did. I put a G at the end of your name. I'm gonna fix that. Yeah. Nobody knows how to spell Asian. Well, he doesn't know how to spell his own name. What the fuck do I care? You know?
What? No, it's a G in there.
It
was spelled right.
Yeah, I did. W-A-N-G. No, I did right. Did I?
You did spell it right.
Yeah, I did.
You spelled it right. You spelled it right, Tommy. Stop.
No, I don't want to hear it. You know what? I don't want to hear from Versts. I really don't want to hear from Versts. I don't want to hear how.
Why do you care? You have more subs than him.
Well, he doesn't care either. He's just gonna fuck with me, and I don't want. I want to be cool. You know, that's basically it.
It doesn't matter. It's your channel.
Shut up.
He's your
Get
bitch, not the other way around.
Yeah, you're right. It's my channel. Let me ask you something on music real quick. Look, new metal came and went. That was my gen. That was my early 20s. Is there sort of a longing in the metal community to have it back? Because let me tell you something. When remember bands like Thursday came out in 2000, 2001. Everything was like, "Fuck you, new metal. Get out of here, Deftones, Korn." Is there sort of a nostalgia?
Strong.
Is there a nostalgia for new metal now from back then? Because that was my favorite era. That's for sure. You know, because I like music that incorporates other types of music. That's what I've always liked. And new metal, which is metal being my favorite music at the time, incorporated a lot of different things. Is there sort of a longing for that now in the metal scene?
Yeah, there's actually a decent amount of bands that I'm like friends with now, or like they're actually like doing really well playing new metal kind of stuff. Like you have Siler, they're fucking absolutely killing it right now. Really good new metal band. Mm-hmm. I think they have an album coming out soon, actually. Kissing Candace, who like they're our friends from Long Island. We just played with them this past week. They're definitely like decidedly a new metal band. They're doing really well.
Good scene in Long Island. There's a lot. You'd be surprised. Like I think a lot of people they're known as at Long Island. You get a lot of exposure in Long Island. That's always a good place to go. Who else?
Fire from the Gods. They're doing really well too. I think. There's a few bands. Who else? Cane Hill. Like I'm not really into Cane Hill, but they're like they're a new metal band too. That's like they've got something going on.
Mm.
So that's definitely like a little wave that's been happening the past little while.
It's funny because I remember when new metal was going out of style, there was a real like pushback against it.
Yeah, there were a lot of people like kind of like metalcore and hardcore got popular.
Yeah,
and then you had all these people who would act like they never listened to new metal.
Yeah, never went to a Limp Bizkit concert.
2 years ago, they were fucking Slipknot.
Yeah, exactly. I saw. I'll give you a crazy fucking show I went to. First Family Values.
Oh yeah,
Meadowlands. It was Korn, Limp Bizkit, Orgy, Rammstein with their full show with explosions and
Holy
everything.
Shit,
yeah, that was badass. It's too bad that I did not appreciate. I was so new metals. I thumbed my nose at Rammstein. Like, fuck them. I don't care what they do. I don't like their music. I don't like Du Hast. It sucks. But it took me to move to Germany and find a guy that was really into him to start really appreciating, especially the riffing in that band. The rhythm guitar player, I can't remember his name, in Rammstein is just amazing. I mean, I
don't remember his name either.
I don't know his name either, but those guys.
The only guy I remember is the vocalist is Till something or other.
Yeah, and he was actually almost a pro swimmer over here. That was the direction he was going.
Wait, so you went to Germany a long time ago then?
Yeah. I joined the army and I got sent here 13 years ago last week, and I never left. I kept on knocking up German. Wow. I kept on knocking up German broads. You probably have a few around. You went on tour. You know how it is.
I had fun in Germany.
Yeah, it's nice. Well, you know, if you're not, I learned this from being in the army. If you're not a white guy, and you look a little exotic by their standards, the girls are going to come right at you. And I'm sure you experience, especially being in a band. I saw it with Real Talk. I saw it with guys in the army. If they were Latin or black, you know, white guys they're like, German girls like, look, I can have a white guy in my neighborhood. I don't need you. You know, so if you're you got a little color in your skin, you can you're getting some pussy.
Yeah. I mean, I had fun in Germany.
I bet you did. I have no doubt in my mind.
Actually, it's been a long time since I've been there now. I really want to fucking go back, just like to Europe in general.
Let me know, and then when I go back to Jersey, I'll meet you in Manhattan.
Yeah.
What
part of Germany are you in?
Wiesbaden. I'm about an hour outside, not even an hour, 30 minutes outside of Frankfurt.
Okay.
Yeah. And I just I got divorced. That's what happened, and that made me get stuck here. But that's a story for another time. Let's take another caller. I'm gonna take a new guy I don't know. Mountain Guy. You're on the air. Hello, Mountain Guy. You got something for Justin?
Yes. First of all, Justin, thanks. New EP is really great.
Oh, thanks, man.
I had a question. What is your opinion on? Do you like Ghost or?
Ghost, I do like them, yeah. Like, I know it's weird. Like, they popped really hard, and all of a sudden they became like a big backlash against them from the more, from the metal community, I guess. Mm-hmm. A lot of people kind of think of it as like poser metal or something, but I think they're cool. I like what they do.
It's funny. I got a question here for my news team. I was going to read them as we just got off the air. But see, this is not a band. I mean, Ghost is it's a band, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah. Who I like more, there's a retrowave DJ named Ghost. Like, a lot of people mix those two up sometimes, but they're really fucking good too.
There you go. Anything else, man?
Cool. No, just this is the first time I ever called out.
You did a good job. Now get out of here.
You.
Have a good one. Bye. Let me read you news team questions. Do you have any ghost stories? That's I get confused.
Do I have any ghost stories?
Yes. Nick DiOrio says that.
I have a pretty cool one. Like, I don't really typically believe in ghosts and stuff, but like everyone would say that my old job at the studio was haunted.
No kidding.
There's even been like articles written about it in newspapers and shit.
No shit. And what happened there?
But the craziest, there's two like really crazy stories that I'd heard about it, like that involved me at least. One of them was my old coworker. He used to live in he lived in the Bronx at a certain point, and he would close out super late, and it was far from where we were. Mm-hmm. So he would sleep there before going home the next morning.
Yeah.
And I was opening up the next morning. So at one morning I got there, and I kind of he saw me entering the building, and he was super confused because he was like, "Wait a second,
here's somebody else.
How are you coming in? I thought you were here already." I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And he's like, "Yeah, dude. Like, you came into the room I was sleeping in and looked at me and then left."
Oh, really? That's bizarre.
The other one, yeah. The other one, which was it was way weirder to me, was at the time we had this intern working there named Jeff, and he looked like this guy who came out of the fucking 80s, just like this thrash metal guy, spikes on everything, denim everything. And my drummer, George, had never heard of any of these ghost stories or anything. And supposedly one of the ghosts looked just like Jeff.
Oh.
So we're in one of the studios setting up. My drummer, George, is putting his cymbals on, and he looks up, and then he goes, does whatever he's doing, and then he looks back up, and he's like, wait, where the fuck did Jeff go? I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Jeff wasn't in here. And he's like, dude, I totally saw Jeff just come in, like, light up a cigarette and sit down. I'm like, Jeff, no, he's not here.
Boy, bitch.
So
that's weird.
Never heard any of these stories, but saw the guy that happened to look just like Jeff.
That's so weird. I came across a ghost story once where somebody saw themselves. They had like a doppelganger or something like that. You know, it wasn't like a ghost, but they saw themselves. It's weird. And then they ended up moving out of the house because too many weird things happened. It was in England a couple of years ago. Short period of time, I started a web page. I was just doing. I called it Geist Report, and I did it in the same style, Drudge Report. I was just compiling shit, you know. But that was one of the weirdest ones that came. And they ended up leaving the house, and that was in like 2010. It's pretty recent. I have to go dig that one up.
I had a few people trying to get into ghost hunting and shit.
I did too, but I give you a whole fucking story about that. It's all bullshit. And I really try to do objectively look at that. But there's so many people that are just lonely and they just want something weird to happen to them that you really can't get to the bottom of anything. And that's the biggest problem with it. And then like those guys that had the Ghost Hunter show, I know a legit ghost hunter that knew them, and he thinks what happened because he said they were legit at one time. And the pressure to get ratings led them to fake some shit, and they lost all credibility.
This stuff's just not going to happen.
There's a ghost. There's a
tiny
tiny community, and I'll shout this guy out because he's really good to me when I was a kid. His name's Troy Taylor. There's a tiny community within the ghost hunting community. All right, that's actually skeptically looks at things. Now the skeptic community would never accept it, but they do. They're honest. I know them. They're not looking at. You'll meet 5 guys that are like, never seen a ghost in my life. I'm just wondering what this is about. You know, they're as bad as you know. Skepticism has a weird kind of. It's almost like you don't believe. No. It doesn't mean you don't believe. You need evidence.
You want evidence.
You want evidence, and there are ghost hunters that they personally think there's something to it, but they're not going to sit there and stake their life on it. And Troy's one of those guys, and they lost a lot of credibility within that tiny sect of the whole ghost hunting community. But the thing is, there's more frauds and sometimes it's crazy, lonely people. So you can always make even if you get caught faking something or saying something or doing something ridiculous, you can keep going because why do you think all these videos on YouTube, like even though I love the guy like J Station, he says he's getting contacted by ghosts at 3 a.m, because people don't care if it's real or not, they just want to have a good time, And I think that's why so much motivation. Any mysteries that you had to abandon? This is coming from Dated Rhyme, one of my news guys.
Mysteries. There was not a mystery I had to abandon. There was a tales from the internet that wasn't so much a mystery, but like I started like compiling it about this one dude, and I was like, wait a second. Then I saw a video by this guy. It was like kind of like just kind of like laughing at silly internet people type video. Yeah. But then he made a video about how like people are like making fun of him because he's autistic, and I didn't realize he was autistic.
So he had to drop it. No, good move. He did the right thing. He did the right thing. What got you doing the mystery thing? Because that is now your niche. That's what separates you from the other commentators. Like what was it just the hits? The one you did one and hit off, and like you said before.
What originally got me started on it was I was just interested in this kind of stuff. Like it's the kind of thing where I'm the kind of person where I'll be like, all right, I'm going to bed right now, but then I'll sit in my bed on my phone and just like fall down a fucking rabbit hole.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Years and years and years.
Yeah, I got you. I'm the same way.
So yeah, now I'm like cashing in on all that wasted time.
In some ways I am too. Like I mean, I got to do a show. I mean, hardly anybody watched it, but I didn't care about Billy Mitchell and Todd Rogers cheating, and they're part of the Twins Galaxies thing.
That's actually how I found Tipster's channel.
Yeah, exactly. And I'd watched, Chasing Ghosts, that documentary, and of course everybody saw King of Kong, which is a great movie.
Amazing documentary, probably one of my favorites
and then,
ever.
All these guys, and I remember Billy Mitchell before the movie when he beat the Pac-Man record in '99, and these guys are legends. They're really the foundation of esports, and what we're founding is the foundation is corrupt as fuck, and no, I found that really I love being able to have a platform. Just to be able to talk with people about, just the weird stuff I'm interested in. The shit you're interested in is getting some mad hits, man. You should be proud of yourself.
Some of these things I'm surprised about the interest. Like the Brian Peppers video, the Brian Peppers video.
Yeah.
Last night I had someone contact me saying that they're the person who found him originally, and they want to dig up their original forum post. So I'm going to start looking for that.
Oh, okay. Oh,
that would be a fucking find.
I did watch the Peppers video. Is he dead or not dead, or you're not sure?
He's dead now, yeah. He died of a few years ago.
The thing is, he was convicted sex offender. Did he ever get to the bottom of the circumstances of that?
I think, if I recall correctly, I think the documentation, like the nurse story, was a fake story. That
was a fake story.
But I think his actual record said it didn't say specifically what it was, but it did involve a child.
Oh, okay. That's what they had. Because I can't imagine, they get something like that. They'd probably cut him a break if it was something like that.
Like a nurse or something like that, happened.
But I tell you something. When I saw the video, and what happened was, to give this Brian Peppers was originally they thought that he had tried to get a nurse's attention. He's in a wheelchair, and he accidentally ripped part of her dress off, and she went all feminist on him to make it short. But that turned out not to be true. But I think in today's world, it's a plausible story, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
Even for somebody that was horribly disabled as this guy. But, with kids and who the hell knows. That guy got a rough card, man. All right, last call.
Yeah.
The Merciful Father Bishop. You're on the air.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What you got for Justin?
What's going on, man?
All right, so just a quick question for Justin. Do you know the band? There's this new series of metal coming in called Power Metal. You know the band? I think it was Powerwolf, some German band. I think they're popular.
You said they're a power metal band?
Yeah.
I do like some power metal bands, but I don't know that specific one.
Yeah.
We're talking kind of like Manowar, Rhapsody, stuff like that, right?
That's considered. Manowar is considered power metal.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's like the power metal band.
That's so fun. They're huge over here. Huge. I mean, they could pack an arena here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I remember we listened to them when I was a kid, and they had this song. I can't remember. It was so over the top. They're like, "If you're not in the metal, you are not my friend." Heavy metal.
Yes, I know that
song. And me and my buddy, we were really dorky. Listen to that. I was 13 or 14. We were like, "Dude, this shit's for dorks, man." We literally were playing D&D. Ripped jeans, fucking. I used to put those patches, those Iron Maiden patches that you put in your denim jacket, right? And we were playing D&D, and that song came on WSOU, Seton Hall, Pirate Radio. Shout out to the East Coast. And
I still want to go to Seton Hall because of SOU.
I know everybody did, but you have to be smart. Yeah. That's what they don't tell you. Yeah. It's a tough school, And that song came on. You are not in the metal. You are not my friend. And me and my buddy were not getting any pussy. Those guys are fucking dorks. Yeah, but they still.
I can't. You have to. There's got to be some level of irony in that, though.
I think so. At this stage,
I mean, there are people that are really like that. Yeah, there's this kid. I was in high school.
They're in their 50s and 60s now.
They had to be pissing the shit out of them.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I think about that kind of person, though.
Spinal Tap. I remember they're the real Spinal Tap.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good analogy. I just remember the first encounter I had with a really super metalhead was in high school, and we're leaving.
So they're all dead.
I'm walking up one street, and we were talking about metal earlier today. So I'm walking up one street, he's walking up the other, leaving.
Yeah. And
then he's like, "Hey," and I turn around, and he just kind of goes like. Goes like that. Oh fuck! I pulled my fucking headphones out.
It's like you both had Volkswagen Beetles, and they're just signaling to you, letting you know I got a Beetle too.
Yeah.
That's too funny.
But another thing that I would wanted to say is, did you know that Rob Zombie actually directed fucking movies?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, dude, yeah, of course.
Yeah. Did you see that movie that I recently saw this?
I saw a movie
no fucking
you made. I
idea.
loved it. The one where they go into the. It was just sort of like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I can't remember the name of the movie, but it's great.
Yeah, the House of 1,000 Corpses.
That was great.
Oh, that one too, yeah.
That was
Oh
a
my
fucking
God.
great movie.
That one, I remember that. The funny thing about that movie, he had that movie sitting around for a really long time, and I was a huge Rob Zombie fan.
Yeah.
And like he couldn't get distribution rights. And if you play Jet Set Radio, the first one, there's House of 1,000 Corpses promo stuff that like didn't like it was there, but he still hadn't sold the movie. So I think the actual thing came out so much later.
Oh, really? I think that
What's
came out.
fucking hilarious.
I want to say
Is
it came
the
out in
ratings
03,
on that movie,
02,
man.
03 or something like that, and Jet Set Radio came out in 99, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I wish that's
sitting
what.
on that for a long
Speaking of
time.
classic games, I'm thinking about actually buying a really expensive original Xbox that has an HDMI, just so I can play Jet Set Radio Future, which is a great.
That game is so good.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good, so good. All right, man. Thanks, Father Bishop.
Yeah, hell yeah, guys.
Take care, man.
Good having you.
Yeah, and
Thanks,
I
man.
think we'll end it with Willie. Willie, I'm gonna end the show.
Oh, Willie's coming in.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, what do you got?
No, real quick, Tommy. The show's usually about you talking to a bunch of pasty. Can you hear me?
Yeah, but you stopped talking.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
A little.
Yeah, a bunch of pasty white kids.
Yeah.
So to me, when you're bringing a lot of swag to the table, man, you're coming in here with the thick beanie, the sick mustache.
Yeah.
You're like the sensei of weird internet mysteries. Right? But what I'm interested in, man, is you comment on a ton of drama videos. I see you talking about like leaving comments on like Drama Alert and on my videos or Turkey Tom videos. Did you ever plan on doing drama shit?
I
Like the
I
Fousey
kind of like
stuff seems right up your alley.
Yeah.
it's weird because a lot of the stuff, like the drama stuff, it does tangentially like fit into Tales from the Internet, but like it's something that I play with in my head because I don't want to be a drama channel,
Yeah.
but sometimes it would make sense.
You
Yeah,
know
but
what's
can't you
going
put your
on.
own little twist on it that's not just like internet drama, like the way like we like because we throw on such like a beefcake fucking ideal. You could kind of go at it from more of like a skeptical view.
There's no
I
way. Once you
think,
get trapped in drama, you're stuck, though, Willie. I don't think he wants that.
You know what it is? Like, I feel like my approach would be, if I were to do some drama, I would have to be the one to like dig up something that like people weren't finding. Like, actually, there was one that kind of, I was investigating it, but like what I found wasn't that interesting, so I didn't do it.
Oh,
But
let's
there was
hear
a
it. What is
guy,
it?
there was a dude who was kind of like this Asian guy. I forgot his fucking name.
Pedophile.
He was kind of.
He
was he was pulling the string on like he was managing like Little Tay or like Wolvicki or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And so I was like, wait, who is this guy like behind the scenes?
Yeah.
And I found like his old YouTube channel and his political stuff and all that shit. But I'm like, this like it's just like a story about some random guy. There's not really like an angle to it. So I'm not really doing it.
Got you.
Yeah, man, I think you're really tapping into that like Shane Dawson market that he kind of has going on over there, where it's like for the most, like it's all really fun and interesting stories, but it's like it's not like harmful, really, you know.
I don't know.
Willie, when are you making another video?
Yeah, really.
Like 2 days. 2 days.
Good.
He's coming to my arcade all the time and chilling out there. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, it's all Tommy's fault. Sick bastard.
Yeah, it is.
Because you had like
It's creepy
crazy
arcade.
momentum for a little bit, and then all of a sudden, like slowed down the.
He watched you
Faucet.
blow up and got defeated.
No, dude, I'm waiting for the grand plan. I'm gonna capitalize on Whang. I'm going into internet mysteries now.
We're all gonna make it, bruh.
Shout out.
Yeah, sure.
Shout a brother out. All right, I think I'm gonna stick around, Willie. I'm gonna end it right here. I had some quick donations to read out, and we'll call it a day. Rick Shea, one in the chat. If you like Whang, I agree. One in the chat, and give me a like while you're at it too. This is a very good interview. Versts, Tobes loves some Whang. Do want some Whang? Shadow Warrior. I like the fact that your names kind of screw up. I know, it comforts me.
Yeah, it's like it's just a
I
typo.
thought it was on
It's literally a typo.
purpose. I thought your last name was bullshit. I thought you just did it to fuck with
A
people.
lot of people do.
Yeah, well, looking
I
at your
hate
Twitter
myself.
handle was hot Pikachu sex, so
Yeah,
I'm not going to say who
before anyone else can do it.
I'm not going to say who, and I didn't have the balls to bring this up earlier, but I feel a little more comfortable now because and I was kind of glad I did when you told that story about the girl. I had somebody tell me that you were pretending to be Asian. He's like, that guy's not really. You can see his
really?
face. Yeah, dude. It was somebody here in
Who
Germany.
said that?
It was somebody here. Not a public. They're not a public figure. Somebody here in Germany. I was like, yeah, I'm interviewing that guy. That guy's and he's faking it. I was like, why would he fake it? His name's Whang. He's like, man, that guy's faking it. I'm like, he's got.
Honestly, Whang, that would be the greatest thing ever if at like 500,000 subs you just like ripped off your mustache.
Fucking race reveal.
It's like I'm white.
They already see my face, so they need something else.
Yeah,
do a Tales of the Internet on yourself. Oh my fucking God.
I've been bullshitting you guys for years.
Perfect.
No, that's
that would
you
be
do Tales
a good
of the
like
Internet.
April Fool's episode.
You do Tales of the Internet on yourself when you're leaving, and you go
Illegal.
Verst, is it me or the shirts behind Tommy look like nightgowns? I'm 6'1", motherfucker. 6'1". I'm a big boy.
Yeah, wow. They're wide, dude. They're wide too.
They're not wide. They're fucking same size as any other extra large shirt. It's not XXL. I think it is double X. Come to think of it. I'm 6'1", and yeah, I got a little belly. What do you want? All right.
There we go. Own it, Tommy.
Yeah, might as well. You know, I don't even give a fuck. I don't give a fuck until the Warhawk servers come back online because I'm going to check as soon as I get off. I want my Warhawk back. This is bullshit. Finally got a refurbished PS3, and Warhawk was working, and they took it away from me. They took it away.
That's a really like what number were they up to with Warhawk?
That was really
old series, right?
No, they had a Warhawk for PlayStation 1, which is single player, which wasn't bad.
I remember that.
And they had this multiplayer, it was just straight multiplayer, which is it's got huge. The critics loved it, but it really only had a real kind of core following. But it had such a core following, it came out in 2007. People still play it. I mean, I was playing it to this day, and it's a pick up and go. You don't have to really think too much. The training might help a little bit. Sort of Battlefield.
You can tell Tommy doesn't really think it at all when he plays.
I don't think at all when I play. I just go.
Crashes into everything.
Yeah, pretty much. Thanks, Nick DiOrio. It's just you, Verst. Guess what? Nick DiOrio and Tobes for the next show. Verst might get some time in this week. How about that? All right, everybody. It's time to split. Thanks so much for the donations. If you were here from the beginning, I did forgot to put Justin's link in there, but just refresh. It's there. Make sure you check out Justin Whang's channel. He is
check out my Whang too.
You check out his Whang.
Is that what it's fucking called?
Yeah, that's for the Snapchat Premium.
Dude, God, dude.
There's a Snapchat Premium now. You can
but like some of these like cam girls, they have premium Snapchats that you got to pay for access.
Nice. I wonder what would my Snapchat Premium include? I can't remember.
Tommy wearing nothing but that nightgown in the background.
Shut the fuck up. It's not a nightgown. First of all, it's far away on the back wall. For Christ's sake. All right, baby. No show tomorrow. No show Sunday. But we'll see you Monday on the news channel.
This is the almighty infinite, independent excellence. Devil fighting, rebel titan, weed smoking alchemist. Fake identities, okay, you cool with Jason Bourne. Running with these Wolverines, okay, you about to catch a storm. I ain't never been a liar, got tired of niggas playing me. Head in my legs like she about to catch a pedigree. Chi-Town, the King's home, slapping fives, black stones. 6 mile to danger zones, bullets look like waffle cones. Folk affiliated the evolution of Machiavelli. Don't make me read them eagles to you like I'm Chip Kelly. They feel my struggle, I express it through my hip hop. I'm about to make it hard to breathe, here's a headline.